Invincible season 3.
I'm very much looking forward to it. I know you are. We've had a few more like screenshot sort of like images released.
Yeah. So here's the thing that I'm actually most excited about. They listened.
Mm,
There was a big gap between season 1 and 2,
yeah,
and then there was a massive mid-season gap in season 2.
which we were
And
vocal about.
while we were desperate for season 2,
Mm-hmm.
I think the entire community, if you would have given them the two options, would have said, no, we'd rather wait until March when you will have it all ready and then just release it then. Instead of release what you have and then make us wait 6 months for the rest of it.
Yeah,
And they listened. And that's all you can actually ask. They've gone out, they've gone, right, we know you guys didn't like that. We've been working hard because it's been non-stop since we got the green light and we know we're going to be around for a while. Which I
mm-hmm.
understand is why season 2 took longer, which is fine. And they've gone, there won't be a mid-season break. All of the stuff's can be ready at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go, get ready. And I'm seated, I'm waiting. It's great.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's all the things we kind of talked about that were our few gripes with season 2 seem to have been answered.
Yeah, I completely
So
agree. And hopefully that makes the story feel a bit more coherent. I feel like,
yeah,
although they like had the mid-season break at a point that didn't feel insane, like it was a natural kind
yeah,
of break point because of just the length of the break. When we
mm,
came back, I was still like, okay, that first episode, I was like, oh yeah, that happened and that happened, and this
mm-hmm.
is where we are, and yeah, okay. Which is never what you want for a show like this. You want the people to sit down and go, I remember exactly what we're doing here.
Yeah, you kind of shows that do mid-season breaks and it works. Like the one that always comes to mind is Walking Dead used to do it. Of mid-season break would be a pretty significant cliffhanger, but one where it's like, oh, I'm not gonna forget this. But obviously wasn't as long. But
Mm.
then they would come back and you're like, oh, I've been waiting to find out what happens. Whereas
Yeah,
this was
well,
like, it wasn't like like it ended in a point that was somewhat cliffhangery, but not
yeah,
like you say. It'd only been a few episodes, and we were already on mid-season break, and then it's like, okay, now I've got to try and remember what happened, and what was season 2, what wasn't season 1.
exactly. And then a 3 month break when you'd only had like 4 episodes is just
Yeah,
insane. I'd have rather waited 2.5 months for all 8 episodes to be finished, and then you just go.
yeah.
It was weird, but hey, they learned from it. That's all we can ask. We get to be excited about season 3. We know it's all coming out in one piece,
Mm-hmm.
and we get to continue the story. In the trailer, we've seen that Oliver is now, I'd say, about 10-year-old boy size. Obviously, we know he doesn't age
Yeah, the
normally,
same. And he's wearing
but
a
he's
costume with the
yeah.
oh, for
That,
Oliver.
yeah. That is still one of the funniest gags in the trailer. It's like Omni Boy, and he's like, he told me the O was for Oliver. Really good. I'm excited for that. I don't know quite how all of the story goes. I have a bad feeling.
I mean, we said that in season 2.
Because I don't feel like he's a major part going forward, and there's only really one way that goes. We know Mark gets his blue suit,
Yes.
which again I don't know much about, but I know that amongst the people who have read the whole
Yeah,
way through the
fans are
comics,
excited.
they're like that blue suit arc goes crazy.
I'm interested to see what the title screen gag is this time.
Yes, I am. I think a lot of people are assuming it's going to be all white for Conquest, I believe.
Okay.
Um, that is based on what I've seen on Twitter. Again, I've decided not to read the comics until the show's over. At this point, I may cave. Fortunately, I have enough of a backlog that I can just go, oh, I actually really want to read something right now. I can read something else.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe that is the expectation. We're
Okay.
definitely going to get a lot more Viltrumites this season.
Yeah.
It's definitely building towards something. I think the big thing from the trailer that we both kind of took away was the relationship with like Cyril and like the government
Yeah.
secret agency people is probably the most tenuous it's ever been for Mark. and
Yeah,
he
obviously
clearly kind of goes a little bit anti, and they maybe overreact, or maybe Mark does go a little bit too far off the deep end.
something to like, because obviously got shown he'd been doing training, so I'm going to guess we might get a bit of a time jump, and we start off with he's been doing training. There's
Uh huh.
obviously something that's going to happen that kind of strains that relationship.
Very badly by the looks of it.
Yeah, so that could maybe be tied in with Oliver. Um, I'm looking forward to Alan the Alien,
Always excited to see my boy Alan.
because didn't it end with him getting onto the ship with Omni-Man?
No, it ended with them breaking out, I believe.
Okay, I couldn't
I
remember
believe
if
that was
they
the last we
broke.
saw of
It
them,
possibly was.
because he got on the ship to like on purpose, and then he was
Yeah,
talking with Omni-Man, like, we need to fight back. I know that you've kind of turned. I know your son's turned. The three of us, we can pull this off.
yeah,
And obviously, like in season 2, we got like that Alan arc where we discovered that he was like designed to like essentially be like a Groundhog Day alien that can just keep getting its arse beat
yeah. It
and
gets
comes
stronger.
back like stronger every time. So I'm kind of want to see Alan get his ass beat 3 or 4 times this season, so that we can like get to super badass Alan.
I mean, one more, and I think he'll be pretty fucking nuts. Um,
Um,
but yeah,
but one thing I did notice people talking about in the trailer as well was you can actually see from like the training montage,
uh-huh.
and then when it's clearly later in the series,
Hmm.
if you look at Mark's body, you can tell they've made him bigger.
And they've drawn him
He's not
different.
like, yeah, he's not like ridiculously big, but like they've clearly
Yeah,
like gone, we're gonna put a bit of weight on him, bit of muscle on him, and make him look more dominating, which
yeah,
I think just shows the attention to detail. I know with some of the other animated projects that have come out in the last 2 years, people aren't as hot on the animation style. I think it's absolutely acceptable. I enjoy it.
yeah. I think it's
It's
fine.
okay if you don't like it. You don't have to like everything about everything.
No.
I don't think when it comes to a cartoon, you should lose your mind if you don't love the animation style. Because at the end of the day, we don't sit down and watch something like Criminal Minds, which ran for like 17 million seasons, or any shows that are incredibly popular. How often do you watch TV and go, "Wow, the cinematography is great"? Because that's the equivalent, right?
Yeah.
And
Oh
don't
yeah.
get me
I
wrong,
mean, there's
the
plenty of
absolute
times we complain about color grading or whatnot,
yeah,
but we
but
still watch it. Still think the show's good.
exactly, it's one of the ones where you have to accept to a degree it is a lower expense product, and I just
Mm.
think that's slightly more noticeable in animation.
Yeah.
But like, don't get me wrong, in the absolute top tier, if you want to be the best in your division, so like the best drama, the best comedy, the best animated show, you do have to look the best. That's
Mm.
why like the Penguin went out there and fucking
Yes.
did so well on awards. Shogun, I know a lot of people were talking about how
Hmm.
beautifully filmed that was. But these are the shows that go out there and they're like, we are the best of the best. We're gonna turn up to award shows and win 20 fucking awards.
Well, yeah. It.
That is difficult. And when it's already difficult for animation to compete in TV, I understand why maybe Amazon wouldn't want to throw enough money at it to get the absolute creme de la creme of animation. And here's the thing: it's still not bad. It still
No.
looks so
It's.
much
I
better than the
think.
cartoons we grew up with.
Yeah. I think the thing is with animation, it's like TV. Yes, you can push the range of like quality, but at the end of the day, the difference between like Penguin and Shogun and I don't know, like your CSI TV show, like that range of difference isn't huge. Whereas in animation, you can have wildly different art styles. So
Uh-huh.
because of that, artists can be more, oh, we can turn this art style that we love into an animated thing. But like when you get to that, it becomes like all art. It's just subjective to a personal taste.
Yeah,
So
I don't think it's fair to say the art style's so bad that people should be like, "Oh my god, how can you even
yeah,
watch that?" It's not like it's not difficult to watch. It might not be your preference, but they are two very different things.
yeah,
And I think sometimes people conflate the two.
yeah, agreed.
But I can't wait for it. We will be absolutely seated for every single episode of
Yes, we
it.
will. It's always
What
been
would you
good.
say it was? Is it a 3-episode launch and then one a week after that?
I don't know. Amazon does like to do that. I don't know with Invincible season 3.
Invincible release schedule.
Yes, it is
So yeah,
doing
3 episodes, then one a week.
That seems to just be Prime's model on a lot of their shows.
I'll be honest, I would have preferred they do a 2-episode launch.
Yeah.
Just so it lasts longer.
Yeah, I feel like.
But if the story's written in a way that them 3 episodes to get us going are needed,
Yeah.
it will make sense, and that is what it is.
But yeah, I mean, I'm happy to have 3 episodes of Invincible to watch straight away.
Absolutely. I'm very, very much excited for it. It's just going to be good to get there, and hopefully this like sets us into like what they're aiming for, like a yearly cadence of series. If the beginning of February every year for the next 6 years is the new season of Invincible, we're gonna be laughing. So
Yeah.
I think
need
that's
a
exactly
regular Critical Role animated show.
Yeah, we're cooking. As much as I dislike Bezos and Prime TV is they're one of my faves at the minute.